If you're watching this video, it's probably for two main reasons. One, you just got unwiped and you want the fastest way back to your old profile, or you're a returning player who might have played this game multiple times in the past, fully understand the game, but you just want the fastest way to the end game. Both of these options, your main goal isn't to fully experience the game like you once did before, but rather just the fastest way from a new profile to a max profile, and that's the path you want to be on, and look no further than this video. Today, if not obvious enough, we'll be guiding you through a playthrough of the early game through what it would be like through our eyes. Considering that one of us has been wiped before and the other has started more profiles than you could ever count, I don't think that there is a better person, let alone a duo, that can show you through the ropes. But quickly, before going into this video, we do want to quickly take a second out of your day to ask you guys to all subscribe to our channel. A shocking 78% of you that have watched our videos in the past are not subscribed, and this really does help us. Plus, it'll also help you, as in the future, YouTube might recommend you some of our old guides or future guides that will be perfect for what you're doing in the game. With that out of the way, we should just get into the video. Now, there are a few small details we want to get into before we actually get started, and that first, this won't be necessarily a beginner guide to the game. If you're watching this video, we kind of expect you to know pretty much everything about this game, like all the blueprints, all the skills, how pets work, how accessories work, whatever. If you don't understand anything like that, we do have a full-on beginner guide that goes over all of that on our channel, and we do highly recommend watching it before watching this one. For your convenience, this will be linked in the description. Next up is the fact that we aren't starting on a brand new account. Unlike the beginner guide where I went out of my way, bought a new account, did the whole 9 yards for that, for this we will be doing it on my main account, which has the perks equivalent to MVP Plus, as well as all the account upgrades. If I go over here into Elizabeth and go into the account and profile upgrades, there are two sections, the profile upgrades and then the account upgrades. Now, some of these smaller than others, like 5 magic find, garden fortune, whatever, won't really be useful for now. But what is more important, we have things like the accessory bag upgrade, the ender chest page upgrades. All of these really do make small differences in the early game and will increase our Skyblock XP a lot, which will be a big focus. Again, it won't make this video completely invalid if you don't have these unlocked, but it will make things a little easier, and we will kind of explain where the stuff does really come into place, and if you don't have these unlocks, what you could possibly do to get around. We also do recommend that if you plan on playing Skyblock for even as little as a few hundred hours, or even 100 hours or less even, that you definitely invest into MVP Plus. Now, this isn't sponsored, we don't have a code or anything yet, but we do honestly think that the functionality from MVP Plus does really add a lot. Just by going here, you can see a few things. You have priority queue, which is really nice during update days. You have the extra wardrobe slots, which really do go a long way. Any rank will give you quick crafting, which is it's unexplainable how good this is if you've never experienced it. And hey, also warp scrolls, which are really good. But with that all out of the way, there's nothing better to do than just simply start off by starting the profile. Instantly, we turn around and grab the rogue sword from Jamie. Now, in Skyblock, there are a few passive skills, and those include carpentry, taming, runecrafting, and technically social. We'll be aiming to unlock these right away, so without wasting any time, we rush over to the wheat fields and farm an inventory of wheat and seeds. This relatively is a good amount of coins, and you should end up with roughly 13 to 14k. Good enough for now. We'll rush over to the mining merchant and buy 18 coal and 19 gold, which we will craft into their respective blocks. Once obtained, we'll go over to B and purchase a common bee pet. This will be our first pet for a while and will help out with early Skyblock XP. Instantly, again, we will use /hub and run over to the wool weaver, which is right above the builder. She will sell us 64 white wool for an extremely inflated price for some reason, and we could use this to unlock carpentry. Now, carpentry is a long-term skill, but the few levels that we gain from the early game do really add up for easy Skyblock XP, so it is worth it. And after the long dialogue, we are finally set up. From here, we're gonna run over to the lumber merchant and purchase a wooden shovel and a stack of wood. This will be primarily used for minions. Using the 1 extra gold that we bought earlier, we will now turn it into a shovel and enchant it with efficiency 3. We do recommend you quickly talk to the librarian and do the quest for a free Skyblock XP. From the wheat that we farmed earlier, we should have been high enough farming level to skip over the barn and instantly to the mushroom desert. This is where we will finally be mentioning warp hubs. We recommend finding the one best for you, but for this video we use /visit PRTL. You should also be eating your cakes here. You won't actually notice a stat increase, but you do have a rare chance of getting a cake soul. Using our shovel here, we can now aimlessly mine sand for the next few minutes to unlock ourselves mining 12, the earliest level we could use to get into the Dwarven mines. Now, very random, but this is a reminder for the chocolate factory. This is a horrible part of the game, but especially since you're watching this guide and you want to be endgame, this is something that you should do now passively to have a little fun with it. I don't think this needs much more explaining, and we're not going to bring it up again. Just remember that you should be doing this progressively all throughout your profile, and hopefully one day you'll have this maxed out. Now, with all the sand that you mine, you could either do this at the end or progressively, but you should turn all that sand into the sand minion. We recommend that you farm and get enough sand so that you can make a level 7 sand minion. This is just so that you're on the same pace as our pace with your pace. We're going to do a quick checkpoint as the next few minutes might get a little messy, and we want you guys to be on the exact same pace as us for the next goal that we go for. Right now, we are both wheat and seed collection level 4. We are maxed in the sand collection. For our skills, we are farming 7, mining 12, aiming 7, carpentry 4, and enchanting 3. All of course with our tier 7 sand minion. This should bring us all together with Skyblock level 2.56. And now we have our eyes set on the bazaar, which is Skyblock level 7. Now, if you want, you could skip ahead a little as this part will get a little specific, but here's how we got to Skyblock level 7. First is basic collection, starting off in the farming department. We started off in the carrot caves, which we could go behind the hub into the mountain to get ourselves carrot collection 3 and a tier 3 carrot minion. We then farmed the wheat until we got seed collection 5 and wheat collection 6. With the wheat, we also made a tier 5 wheat minion and also got a bunch of skill level ups. Being a little stupid at first, we then realized carrots and potatoes are just smarter to farm in the barn by a long mile. The only issue is you do need to find a unclaimed hub for this to work, but it doesn't take that long to find one. Here we made our carrot minion into a tier 4, as well as upgraded the collection one more time. We then farmed potatoes for our tier 4 minion and potato level 4. Then moving into the mushroom island, we made a tier 3 cactus minion, and also went over to get cactus level 4. A little bit of backtracking, we're going to do two things. First of all, we're going to go into the hub and buy 3 gold from the NPC and craft yourself a golden axe. We're also going to be making our first purchase from the auction house on the profile, and that'll be the jungle axe. And then we're going to enchant them both with efficiency 5. Back over to the barn, we're gonna unlock pumpkin and melon collection 2. Not gonna craft anything yet, but we're gonna store the crops away. Travel back to the desert and craft yourself a level 2 cocoa bean minion and get the collection level 3. Though tempting to get a level 3 minion, hold on and just store the rest of the beans away. Moving on to the sugar cane, we could get enough cane to hit collection level 4. This will have enough cane to make a tier 3 minion as well as a speed talisman. Good for later, but we just can't use it yet. Finally, all we're gonna do is grab 100 mushrooms to get to mushroom level 4, and with all of that, we also got a bunch of skill level ups. Let's go back to the hub as we're going to do a few trades with the farming merchant. The reason why we told you to keep onto your materials is now we're going to use them to upgrade the minions, which will start off by making a tier 4 cocoa bean minion. We're going to buy enough melons for a tier 2 melon minion and enough pumpkins for a tier 3 pumpkin minion. And finally, we're going to buy enough mushrooms for only a tier 2 mushroom minion, as it's pretty pricey for what our purse is at. Next up, we're going to swap a few times in the hub and farm the netherwort farms right next to the alchemist. After farming that, we'll end up with the netherwort collection 4, a netherwort 4 minion, and a potion affinity talisman. As I mentioned in the intro, this is where my endgame account comes into handy with the accessory bag slots. If you don't have these, we recommend that you find another way to level up through more collection unlocks, skill level ups, or quests, but ultimately this is the best passive way for us to get XP, so this is what we're going to do. We're going to go over to the mining merchant and buy an iron pickaxe. This is very temporary, so we don't need to upgrade it. We're aiming for redstone collection 2 to unlock our accessory bag. This will give us a lot of Skyblock XP when we fill that up, and once we unlock it, we could use our 2 already acquired accessories and put them in the bag. Travel back to the hub, and with whatever coins you have left, buy as many accessories as you can from the adventure. At the end, I was able to buy all but one. We're now moving on to foraging, finally what we bought that jungle axe for. On our way, we will be first doing the blacksmith quest for a free 5 Skyblock XP, and we're gonna forage to foraging level 4. This is so we can move all the way up to Melody. Now, this is a big disclaimer for anyone in the chat who is not comfortable with doing Melody. I had to do this in a lobby with other noobs, and that is probably a bigger time loss than your skill issue or your ping. This gives an insane amount of XP, so we can't just simply skip over it. If you have any issue with doing this, get over your, I don't know, get over it. Just do it. If you want to get to the end game, you got to do it eventually. It's an epic accessory. I don't know. This is a huge advantage to us, as when I was done, I was only 3 XP off from level 7, meaning all I needed to do was chop down a few acacia logs, and there we go. If you follow at home, congratulations. We will now move on. Our main reason for unlocking the bazaar was for unlocking the Dwarven mines. So what we're gonna do is find the cheapest of any 15 ore, which in my case is gold. Actually, I was too poor to buy these, so I started with NPC flipping. The main things you want to focus on are dandelions, string, slime balls, ice, and a few other main ones. Now there are a lot of NPCs that probably have some marginal flip, but the ones that I ended up doing were dandelions, string, slime balls, and ice. Again, you could probably do a little more, but this is chill for now. At the end, I had all my 15 ores and 464k coins left over, mostly thanks to the dandelions. Now I went over to start my quest in the Dwarven mines. Now here, there's nothing to do. I kind of gaslit you guys in why we got it, but we got 35 Skyblock XP, so good to have, I guess. Now, there are two things we're going to focus on differently. Actually, not really differently. We're going for Skyblock level 12. This unlocks us the Rift Portal and everything we'll need to do to get out of the whole of early game. Second is money, as we are broke. There's no way to hide it, we are broke, and we will not be able to play the Rift or buy anything, quite frankly, with 464k. So here's what I did. Now, there are a lot of early game money making methods like Arachne, for example, that do make more than what I'm about to do, but the reason that we're gonna do what I'm about to do is for more Skyblock XP. So at the end of the day, welcome to Glowy mushroom farming. Now, this isn't super unknown, but what it is super undone. So what we're gonna do before going over and starting the money making method is buying a ton of chump. This stuff is dirt cheap on the bazaar and we will need an insane amount. Thankfully, our person will cover that. Next is traveling over to the mushroom desert and into the glowy mushroom area. We're gonna need to do the Moby questlog, obviously, which starts off with 8 glowing mushrooms. Now, without any mods, seeing the mushrooms is actually super hard, so sadly, even though this is painful to say, we do recommend NEU. Your frames will take a huge hit, I am fully aware of that, but for the time being, while you're just farming mushrooms, we do recommend that you do download it, as it's the only mod that I was able to find that had this. I don't know why. I checked every mod, Sky Handy, Sky Tills, SBE, SBA, none of them had it. I don't know why. But anyway, after that, after you bring them the original 8 mushrooms, you'll need to fill up 1 bucket, and with that, you'll be able to fully unlock the NPC shop. Our main thing from here that we want to buy is the Moby shears, which gives us 1 extra glowing mushroom per harvest, pretty much doubling our rates. On top of the first bucket that we already got, we need 47 mushrooms to buy everything we need for the shears. Now, after we got our shears and we're in the NPC, there are a lot of stuff for us to buy, as you can see. Now, all these items fluctuate in price, and at the time of recording, the best thing for us to go for was the Glowy Tonic Mixin. Selling this at 1.2 million coins per, we need to grind 602 glowing mushrooms per mixin. Doing a little test, this took us 9 minutes per tonic. Considering one cost around 100k from buckets 2, we're making roughly 7.5 million coins an hour. So that's what I worked on. For the next hour, I ended up farming glowy tonic mushrooms, and even though it was boring as hell, we got through it. All of this is so that we had a good spare amount of money so that we were able to do what we could do to unlock the rift, as well as buy the Grand XP bottles needed for the rift. Again, at the end, I was able to grind 7 glowing tonics, including the one I got during the testing, and sold them all in the AH for 1.2 mil. I also did sell the enchanted mushrooms, which sold for like 50k, I might as well mention it. Now, these could take a minute to sell, but after skipping ahead a little, boom, we have all the money that we could ever want in the world. First things first, we are going to set up a buy order for 512 Grand XP bottles. We might need more in the future, but this will cover a lot of our rift entries. Next up, our main goal again has turned into hitting Skyblock level 12. So we're going to try to utilize these coins as much as possible for XP, and that starts off with Talisman. From the auction house, we were able to buy 6 Talisman, putting our magical power to 67 and bringing us to Skyblock level 9. Simply, just by sorting by lowest bin, you'll be able to find really cheap Talisman, and probably the same 6 that I bought, as you can see. Next is Minions. Even though that's been the whole, pretty much all the early game, we have yet to scratch the surface of minions and a lot of collections, to be quite frank. Now, here's the thing. If we mention every single minion upgrade and collection, we might have this video at an hour long. So rather than that, we're going to include a little clip of just Skyblock XP montage for most of the upgrades that we made. Before starting, we are Skyblock level 9, 6 Overflow XP. After a trip to my island, I was able to upgrade my Cobble Minion. I took the time to start the garden, which the whole questline gave us 15 Skyblock XP. And by whole questline, I mean half the questline, as you do get 25 at the end of it, but I'm only getting 15 because I'm not clearing a plot with no god pot, no actual tools, nothing. Fuck that. Doing all these gave me the amazing idea of doing the NPC dialogues for easy Skyblock XP. Granted, should have done this earlier, but it doesn't really matter as our main goal has been getting to Skyblock level 12 pretty much the whole time. And the best part about these dialogues is a lot of them don't even require you to do the quest. Like the lazy miner doesn't require you to get his pickaxe. That is the whole point of the quest. Why does he give you the reward? I don't know, whatever. In total, I got 35 XP from this, pushing me over to Skyblock level 11. From this point, it's the same old stuff to get from Skyblock level 11 to 12, skill level ups, collection unlocks, and minion crafts. I'm not gonna bore you though, I will skip right to the part where I hit Skyblock level 12, and boom, we hit it. Now, if you notice the last thing that I crafted to put us over the edge of Skyblock level 12, it was a redstone minion, and for good reason. We want accessory bag slots, to put it short. This will help us progress immensely when it comes to damage, as well as just a collection unlock that we will need to max out eventually. We will have way more than enough money, so what we're gonna do is turn all these minions into a tier 3 minion, buy them all medium storages, buy them all compactors, and buy them all enchanted charcoal for the time being. After all the minion unlocks, we have 12 minion slots, and that's quite frankly thanks to us doing all this for Skyblock XP. Well, now that we're level 12, there isn't much more procrastination we could do before hitting the rift. The moment our profile has been needing, it's us. Now, before anything, I do recommend that you buy the Warp Wizard Tower Scroll. The scroll shouldn't require MVP plus, I'm pretty confident, so thankfully it is available for everyone to use just for 11k coins by buying it from the slot. Now, we're not going to bore you with Rift footage, there is enough Rift footage on the channel, everyone knows how Rift goes, and there is zero point to stretching out the video more for this. The main thing we want here is to be able to do living metal snakes. Now, yes, everyone does know about this, and it is very tedious, but at the end of the day, this is the endgame player guide, so the most boring thing for the best gain is something that we need to do. If you're following at home, the main thing that we want to focus on is rift time. The main goal for now is just stopping right before backday. Of course, you could finish the rift later on, but the amount of rift time that we get by unlocking everything right before backday is enough for now, and will do. Again, we're not going to bore you with the rift gameplay, I know no one wants to see it, so we're going to show you, boom, we're ready to mine snakes. In total, this took us 20 rift entries, minus the one that it took to get in to record this part, minus the 2 that I lost to Enderman, I don't know how this happened, and then 1 I lost to my internet going out, and whenever we enter the rift, we are sitting at 39 minutes and 30 seconds. If you're curious, this took 3.5 hours, though this is coming from a guy who might have completed the rift maybe 30 times in the past. Again, we could increase the time by going to do vamp and finishing it out, but it's pretty much useless for now. So with nothing else for us to do, we're just gonna go on to snakes. Snakes are a runner-up in the best money-making methods in the rift, so this will immensely help us to the point where we could skip any bit of early game that we have money locked. So if you don't mind me, my past self is gonna watch a movie, mine snakes, and come back with the results. And with the power of editing, we are finally back. After watching the movie Creep, which, just gotta say this, a phenomenal movie, I was able to end up with 18 Polar Void books. Do keep in mind when you do snakes that when it comes to Bluetooth rings and Polar Void books, these do end up fluctuating a lot in price. So whenever you're doing this, look at whichever one is more cost effective and do that one. At the end of the day, I put them up on the bazaar for roughly 2 million coins per, and BAM! We are now proud owners of a 37 million coin purse. Keep in mind all this with an 8.8 hour playtime, but we're gonna round up to 8 as I spent a lot of this time, or well, like an hour writing the script while playing, so yeah. So now what? It's been 8 hours, we've officially established a money-making method that makes over 30 million coins an hour, and we have 38 million coins to spend on whatever we want. Well, there is a few basics that will bring us a long way. First and foremost, we are buying a god pot. We're not going to be a slug anymore, moving around the hub or whatever, and not long after, we are instantly buying a booster cookie. This might sound dumb as you could buy a god pot with the bits from the booster cookie, but there are a lot better conversions when it comes down to bit to coin conversions. We're also going to deposit 1 million coins into the bank as like a safety net. The rift does cost money to enter, so this will be our safety coins for whenever we need more money. And quite frankly, if you're playing this profile, you're going to need that really soon. We're now going to buy ourselves an AOTE. This is for movement, it's pretty self-explanatory. The jump boost in the god pot's nice, but this will bring us farther. We're going to buy ourselves a legendary guardian. You could in the future buy yourself a level 100, but this level 1 will do for now. and thanks to the enchanting update is only 250k. Now this is a segue to us making a quick enchantment table on our island, which as I'm typing the script is extremely stupid thanks to the cookie giving you max bookshelf power, and it's not like we're never gonna have a cookie. Anyway though, we're gonna buy a few Grand XP bottles to enchant our AOTE a little until we get to enchanting level 10. From here, because we're on a new profile, we're able to do the experiment table 3 times in a row for free. Granted, it is the worst experiment, but there's nothing else we could do, and at the end we are enchanting 19 and taming 16. For now, we aren't the richest to reset the table, but if we keep playing for a day or two, the money that we will need to reset the table will be nothing to us. As we spoke earlier, with our 8-hour playtime, our minions have been going the whole time, which is really good. After all of that, we are able to get to Redstone Collection 8, which unlocks us a few more accessory bag slots, up to 21 now, and don't be afraid to use this redstone to just keep leveling up the minions. It's worth nothing, there's no point in selling it. We're going to go back to the auction house to tackle one more important thing, and that's mining. There's a daily system, which I am sure you're aware of commissions. Now, it might be tempting to go for the silverfish for the extra mining wisdom, but getting a legendary mithril golem is a way better idea due to the extra mining speed as well as the extra mithril powder. And quickly, something we should say, I went over to Zog and bought myself a 10% skill XP bonus for my guardian and a 40% mining XP boost off the auction for my mithril golem. Now before we do mine, we're going to quickly do the fetcher and puzzler. This is a free 2000 mithril powder and will get us to mining speed 7. A free 140 mining XP. No one could really complain about that, alright? We do recommend that if you're not going to do mining or you're not playing that much, we do recommend you do your daily commissions at a minimum every day. These dailies early on do really add up and will get us really close to that Heart of the Mountain for a few days in. Once you get Heart of the Mountain 2, each commission will start giving a base of 200 Heart of the Mountain XP per, and once you hit Heart of the Mountain level 3, each commission will give 400 Heart of the Mountain XP per. Doing your 4 dailies on the first day will get you the Heart of the Mountain 2, and if you're only doing dailies, you'll get the Heart of the Mountain 3 in the following 2 days. Meaning you'll be able to unlock the titanium pickaxe, making commissions just a bit more bearable. Also, you'll be able to start off getting 400 XP per commission, which is a ton, making Heart of the Mountain XP really easy. While you're here, we're gonna also ask that you hit combat 12. You're doing this by killing ice walkers, and this will unlock the end. For now, it's not super necessary for anything, but when you do grind up to combat level 22 for the Crimson Isle, which honestly we do recommend that you do early on, doing it with Enderman would be your best bet. We say this as for bestiary wise, you're gonna max out the Glaciite walkers simply by doing commissions, but with Enderman you won't, and this will give you a hell of a head start for maxing out the bestiary. Not to mention, you're also gonna make a lot more money doing Enderman. And sadly, that is all the footage you'll be getting from that profile. And that's simply because we can't really hold your hand much longer. We got you a good money making method, we set you on a path to some really good things, and really if you're watching this, you'll know what to do. But in case you don't, the rest of the video will be talking about a few more options for you to fall down, and a few tips that will pretty much help you prioritize where to put your money. First off, I kind of lied about the profile thing, but starting off with your minions, your redstone minions are in a horrible state. If you did level them a little, they should be around level 4, maybe level 5, and this really isn't the best. So we're going to spend a little money upgrading them. This will be in the terms of upgrading their level to around level 7 is where I'd say is fair enough. And at the end of the day, it really isn't that expensive. Like 2 stacks of redstone is only 120k, which again, with how much money you're making, it should not be an issue. The medium storages can stay, but the main thing we want to focus on is the fuel and compactors. First thing is we want a permanent fuel. With the enchanted coal, you'll end up forgetting to replace them and you'll just end up with no fuel. So we want to look into a permanent fuel source. The best thing you could do is start off with an enchanted lava bucket. These go for really cheap nowadays, 138k per. You'll need to buy 1 per minion, and it should just not be an issue at all to buy these with how much money you make. Later down the line, you could upgrade these into the plasma buckets, the magma buckets, which do increase the speed by a good bit, but for now, I wouldn't recommend these for a good time to come. Your compactors, cut it for the first few hours. Now they're already obsolete. You should be aware, but the Super Compactor 3000, again, really cheap nowadays. You should have this immediately. Your compactor also won't work on every type of minion. For example, when you do put down minions like, let's say, a skeleton minion, compactor won't work for that. So the super compactor will, you'll need these, all right? And again, that brings us to our next point, future minions. This won't be an issue for a good bit, but you will eventually need to consider what other minions you're gonna put down. Now, if you're aware with like how minions are in the end game, people put them down for money, but with your current Skyblock level, in my case being 23 on this profile, extremely low, and the best way to get it up is through collections. Now, collections you're not going to want to do it on is very grindable collections. Some things like gold, for example, which for now, we won't be able to grind. Our best pickaxe is a promising pickaxe, and even though it looks scary with the 500k gold cap, that's not an issue at all. This will take maybe 10 minutes max when you are able to afford a max mining setup. Collections we do recommend are things for like chicken, for example. The best way to manually grind it outside of minions is in the barn, and there's no way to speed it up, and you need to get 100k. If you were to manually grind this might take a year. So your best bet is to just put down a few chicken minions with some super compactors and go to sleep. Whoa, jump scare. Speaking of redstone minions, your accessory bag will expand very quickly. Thankfully, there is a great option to this, and that is /missing. In our Discord here, which shameless plug, you could join in the description, completely free. After verifying, you can go into the commands channel, and all you need to do is type /missing, followed by your name, and make sure you're doing the correct profile. The way that this bot works is that it goes based off of coins per magical power. As you can see down here, we have things like the bucket of dice, which is 125k coins per magical power. But then if you go all the way up here and look at some of the most simple stuff, like a farming talisman is 600 coins per magical power, which really, it's insane. Again, very simple to use, and quite frankly, this will save you a lot of money and a lot of time. The one thing that the bot doesn't show you though are the unobtainable talismans. For example, talismans like in the dungeon hub, you have the cheetah talisman, you have the pigfoot, you have the wolf, whatever the hell it's called. All these talismans are easy, rare, epic talismans that you could get with zero effort pretty much. These talismans, if I'm pretty confident, do not show up on the bot, so you want to knock these out immediately. Again, just to kind of envision a talisman like the Melody's hair, if I go ahead and take it out, we are at 67, now we're at 55 magical power. That is 12 Skyblock XP and or magical power, which really does add up at the end of the day. Something small, but we do need to mention, we talked about it, we didn't really talk about it to be fair, but the community center, if you go over here back into the upgrades, the profile upgrades are something that we need to take care of. And by taking care of, I quite literally just mean click these buttons every few days. Things like coin allowance, again, aren't very useful. Minion slots are useful. You kind of just get the gist. These are small upgrades that do kind of help out your profile. There's no need to rush and spend gems on them. If you do, go for it, I guess. Also, not to mention, if I'm not wrong, yep, there we go. If I go into here, okay, yeah, there we go. These do give all Skyblock XP, and these are all the free ones. You're not locked behind any gem upgrades. All this together is just 120 Skyblock XP, some really neat upgrades for completely free, and a while of your time, to be fair. And that brings me to my next point of taking care of your Skyblock XP. Skyblock XP is the name of the game, and you should knock out a lot of the stuff along your journey. The thing is that Skyblock XP gets added every update, whether it's small or big. There's always something for it, and quite frankly, you'll be lost in the things that you actually need to do for Skyblock XP. So we do often recommend that you check this menu and just look at everything that you're missing. Some key ones: story task. This is 5 full Skyblock levels and some change. You get pretty much 4 Skyblock levels by just doing the rift. And then you have these objectives, which all of them are very entry level. You just might need some unlocks for, like, maybe you need the end island, or maybe you need to go to the new fishing island, whatever. As I mentioned before, a lot of these don't even require you to do the task, such as talking to the lumberjack. While I was doing the profile, I just needed to talk to him and I got the XP. Did not have to give him the wood or whatever. It's so stupid, it's so gimmicky, whatever. Power stones are another good one. A lot of these are very cheap, and you could do a lot of them early on, and some like Silky are great options, again, early on. The dojo, when you get over to the Crimson Isle, is 4 Skyblock levels, not even XP, levels. And I've heard so many people bitch about this. Again, same with the Melody, do not bitch about it. Who is shooting arrows? Okay, my bad, that was my alt account. No, but Black Belt is actually really easy. I don't care what anyone says, even if I had 500 ping. If there is a way for me to recreate 500 ping, I would show how easy Dojo is on that ping. So don't be scared about it. It's really easy Skyblock levels all around. Again, some small ones, you have Fairy Souls, you have Essence Unlocks, you have all this. I'm not going to go over it. It's a very self-explanatory stuff. Something I will say though, Fast Travel Unlocks, make sure you get all these. All of them are pretty cheap, and they're 15 Skyblock XP per. So you might as well. But again, I could go talking about these the whole video, but again, I'm not trying to stretch it out that long, and you should just be able to look at it and be like, oh wow, I need to do X, Y, and Z. Also, we couldn't really find a better time to include this in the video, but make sure that your kind of profile is revolved around bestiary a bit, if that makes sense. We did talk about it with the Enderman and the Glacites, but you should pretty much your whole time being like attentive to what is happening for bestiary. For example, if it's Spooky Festival or if it's like the Jerry Island, you go out of your way to do those bestiaries. Of course, when you have the gear too. If you're doing Sven Slayer, you want to make sure that you knock out all the bestiary in the park and also in the hub, that you're not getting a ton of overflow on just hub wolves instead of doing the park ones. Pretty much what I'm trying to say is there's a lot of overlap and a lot of things that you could do for bestiary to make it not as painful as some people do make it out to be, when it's really not. Bestiary is super fun. Just make sure it's something that you overlap, and also it's really good for combat XP. Those are just a lot of minor tips and whatever, but we do need to talk about what your direction in this game actually is going to look like. There are a few things you could do. First, you could rush mining. Heading Heart of the Mountain 7 isn't really that bad when you get all the gear. It might take probably like, I don't know, let's say 20 hours of playtime. Honestly, probably less. I'm gonna say a lot. I think 20 hours is a high ball. Maybe like 15. I have no idea. I have no way to actually like test that. But if you're going into mining, Heart of the Mountain 7 and eventually getting to 10 is a necessity. Once you get to 7 specifically, this is where you could start targeting your powder. You'll unlock powder buff, you'll unlock everything that has to do with gemstone powder. If you're lucky with 2 times powder and everything, I'm confident to say you could knock out gemstone powder in a full IRL day. Of course, no one's gonna stay up for 24 hours doing gemstone powder, but it's something to realize how easy it is. Again, not going to explain all of mining, it's pretty self-explanatory, but if you do play your cards right and do the whole 9 yards, within the first month, assuming you're grinding the game insane, you could probably make up to 70 million coins an hour. Or not you can, you physically can, if you get the max gear. Which is insane to think about. Your first month playing, you can make that much money. Now, we would recommend this if your goal was hating your life and getting max level, but there are other options at the end of the day. First off is Rift. You'll hit a few roadblocks, especially when it comes to Vampire Slayer, as you're gonna need a few small things like the Armor of the Pack, which is Fen level 6. This isn't really that bad, as if you get someone to carry you, you'll be able to unlock some better money making methods in the Rift, such as Vampire Slayer, or honestly the main thing is just moat grinding. The 30 mil an hour from snakes is cool, but once you do unlock remote grinding specifically, you'll probably be able to bump that to like 50 to maybe 60 mil an hour. I'm not too familiar on the rates right now. Another very viable thing you could do is garden. Now, we wouldn't recommend this if you don't have max gear, and I mean max gear, being able to put perfect Fermentos on everything, or perfect Paradots on everything, being able to get Fermento armor or whatever the max armor is for your farming level, max pets, get the pet rules, whatever. We recommend all of that. Now, if farming is your mojo, it is a very viable thing, but we do recommend while you're on the garden that you max out everything when that comes to crop upgrades. Well, every copper upgrade, your garden milestones, all your crop and visitor milestones, and down the line your composter, which all that really does make a lot of money. Even though you're spending a lot for the XP, you'll be able to forever have farming as a money making method, and overall just have the garden max, which is pretty cool. But yeah, other than everything that we mentioned so far, I think that is everything we need to cover. The great thing about Skyblock, and even though people make it seem bad, is that once you find your thing, let's say it's mining, and you've started to become overly profitable, this game becomes insanely fun as you're able to just ease through all the content that you've ever wanted and just do all the fun stuff in the game, in my opinion. Hopefully this video is of use to all of you who are in this position in the game, and if not, hopefully there is something that you learned from this video. If there's something you want to learn more, please feel free to leave a comment and I'll try to help in any way possible. And because this video did take a lot of brain power, also sent me down a downward spiral for completing the Rift for the 30th time in a row, please check if you're subscribed. It'll mean the world to us. Subscribing is always free, and hopefully will maybe eventually push us closer to a code. I mean, code pat, code vid. You don't really know. I mean, hey, if you're watching this out in the future, we might have one. All right. Okay, I'm sorry for plugging. Anyway, hope you have a good day. Thanks for watching, and goodbye.
Hello, my name is Peach Fuzz. I might look like I eat you up, but I'm as friendly as a rabbit, and I'd make a very good friend. Peach Fuzz, I am here, and there's nothing to fear.